Are you absolutely kidding me? GOP governor, Republican governor of Indiana, is trying to walk back interracial marriage. Oh, wow. What year is this? I'm Sergeant Rob, United States Marine Corps infantry veteran, 5 years. Look, they're going after same-sex marriage. Now they're going after interracial marriage. Soon, they won't have anyone that falls into those two categories around anymore. That's where we're going. That's what we're going back to. We're going pre-antebellum stage here. We are going such in the wrong direction that there will not be a recognizable America in which we know it as America any longer. And that's my opinion. This is information that's being shoved in our face because they're not hiding their goals and their wants anymore. They're coming after every individual American and their rights. And again, it's just what I've been seeing. It's what is happening. It is what they're telling us they want to do. It is not misinformation. It is the truth. Because the fact that they're going on social media, posting these things, championing these things to take away the rights of love from our citizens is ridiculous. It's infuriating. Everyone should be up in arms about this because it doesn't matter what gender, ethnicity, or color you are. Love should not be dictated by the government. And maybe we should just abolish marriage altogether if they're to treat it like a weapon against their citizens. Because outside of a tax break, what do you get from it? A piece of paper. It really doesn't matter at the end of the day because you can still love who you love and be in love with those that you love. So, the fact that this administration is coming after these things, we're past the tipping point, guys. We are. Because do you think they're going to stop here? And if it doesn't affect you now, when will it? Probably very soon. Medicaid's looking at a $500 billion cut. While they spend $200 million on an expansion for a ballroom, we're slicing our national parks in half, trying to sell them off for oil rights and mineral rights.
When you want that diversity to shine within our federal system, there are going to be rules and proceedings. They're going to be out of sync with maybe what other states would do. It's the beauty of the system, and that's where the differences among points of view in our 50 states ought to express themselves. And I'm not saying that rule would apply in general, depending on the topic, but it should mostly be in general, because it's hard to have it on issues that you just are interested in when you deny it for others with a different.
Alright guys, welcome back to the channel and I hope you are all doing good. Today we are diving into something widely controversial, a clip of a white politician proposing to ban black and white Americans from marrying each other and even trying to make it a constitutional amendment. Yeah, you heard that right. So guys, before we even get into the deeper part, make sure you hit that subscribe button, smash that like, and let's get into this together.
Okay, before I get into this, son, I'm speaking from the perspective as a white man in an interracial marriage. And this is for other white people, so y'all aren't fucking surprised when this happens. When, not if, when they come for interracial marriage, I'm telling you, there's going to be a whole lot of fucking white people that walk away from their partners and from their kids. There's going to be some of you white people right now that are like, oh my God, no way, that would never happen. You're just fear-mongering, or you're just this and that. No, listen. I've made a video about interracial marriage before, and the amount of comments that I've gotten from people about their white partners who are completely not in touch with politics or not political, are a lot. You will see white partners in these marriages choose white supremacy over their own partners and children. I promise you. Because mind you, these white people have partners and children that look like the people that are being snatched by ICE. They're watching Trump on down talk about their partners being DEI hires at work. Doesn't move them. They don't give a fuck. These same partners, white partners, tokenize their spouse at every turn. So I can't be racist. I have a black, indigenous spouse of color. Y'all see it on here all the time. But when the pressure hits and it's building, white people fucking fold to white supremacy all the goddamn time. That's what's happening right now on a national scale. And we're seeing it. We got concentration camps in America. We got the National Guard in LA and DC. We got ICE snatching up kids, families, deporting them. Doesn't matter if they're fucking citizens or not. And white people aren't moved to do shit. So you think when they come down and they try to attack interracial marriage, it's going to move white people? Absolutely the fuck not. JD Vance, I wouldn't be surprised if he set the standard and said, I'm leaving my wife for X, Y, and Z reason. He'll make some bullshit up. And other white Americans will be like, oh yeah, he did it? All right, yep, then it's safe for me to walk away. When you as a white person can be in an interracial marriage and you see the way the entire country is treating people that look just like your children or your partner, and you just say, I'm not political, or we don't talk about that in my house, you're fucking going to, when the government comes for your shit, well, you're probably not, because you're going to be too scared to say anything or do anything, because you're just going to be scared about violence from other white people for being in an interracial marriage. White people as a whole value white supremacy more than anything in their fucking life. 3 out of 5 white men voted for Trump. 1 out of 2 white women voted for Trump. And everything that's happening right now is what they want. And other white people that don't have a fucking spine, or other white people that don't view their partners as human beings, that don't see their children, their biracial children, as human beings.
Point of view.
So you would be okay with the Supreme Court leaving the question of interracial marriage to the states?
Yes, I think that that's something that if you're not wanting the Supreme Court to weigh in on issues like that, you're not going to be able to have your cake and eat it too. I think that's hypocritical.
Today about interracial marriage and abortion.
So you would be okay with the Supreme Court leaving the question of interracial marriage to the states?
Yes, I think that that's something that if you're not wanting the Supreme Court to weigh in on issues like that, you're not going to be able to have your cake and eat it too. I think that's hypocritical. When it comes to issues, you can't have it both ways. When you want that diversity to shine within our federal system, there are going to be rules and proceedings. They're going to be out of sync with maybe what other states would do. It's the beauty of the system, and that's where the differences among points of view in our 50 states ought to express themselves. And I'm not saying that rule would apply in general, depending on the topic, but it should mostly be in general, because it's hard to have it on issues that you just are interested in when you deny it for others with a different point of view.
Braun told reporters that he views the Supreme Court decision to legalize abortion as a case of judicial activism. He says it's an issue that should have been left up to each individual state. And when asked by a reporter, he said the 1967 Supreme Court decision to legalize interracial marriage should have been left up to the states.
When you want that diversity to shine within our federal system, there are going to be rules and proceedings. They're going to be out of sync with maybe what other states would do. It's the beauty of the system, and that's where the differences among points of view in our 50 states ought to express themselves. And I'm not saying that rule would apply in general, depending on the topic, but it should mostly be in general, because it's hard to have it on issues that you just are interested in when you deny it for others with a different point of view.
So you would be okay with the Supreme Court leaving the question of interracial marriage to the states?
Yes, I think that that's something that if you're not wanting the Supreme Court to weigh in on issues like that, you're not going to be able to have your cake and eat it too. I think that's hypocritical.
The Senator of Indiana, Senator Mike Braun, just said that interracial marriage should be a decision that's taken over by the states. Remember what happened when they did that with abortion, and now it's illegal in a bunch of states? That's what they're going to try to do. And after interracial marriage, not even after, maybe at the same time, they will be coming for gay marriage next. When y'all voted this Trump wannabe into office, I knew some dumb shit was about to happen. He's already cut Medicaid, been super pro-Israel, given them a bunch of money, supported a bunch of huge corporations, and given them no tax cuts. This is the list of everyone who's gotten bribes from AIPAC. And, oh, he is. And you sold out to Israel for $75,000. Good to know. A lot of other people sold out for more, but yeah, if you go to Open Secrets, you can see all the people who were given money by AIPAC. Top Democrats who love Israel, of course, at the top. Chuck Schumer. Yup, makes sense. Now, what do? 1, direct action is the only thing that politicians actually care about. Blocking them, protesting, going into their way to make things harder for them. And that's when they actually start listening. In 2020, when they did all the protests for the police, it was only when protests turned violent and when senators actually started to be intimidated by the level of people who were coming out, by the number of people who were coming out, and that's when they actually had started defunding the police. Now, did those things stay in place? And have they defunded the police at all? Since then, no. We have actually funded the police even more. These are genuinely scary times, but invest in your communities, disrupt politicians, get in their way, make them uncomfortable, call them, vote in local elections. I'll be posting more about that. And yeah, get married interracially as soon as possible, because that may be going away from a product of interracial marriage. Hopefully it doesn't, but
will the Supreme Court overturn gay and interracial marriage? Let's talk about it. Substantive due process is a legal doctrine that says, even though the due process clause doesn't explicitly state certain fundamental rights, it nonetheless protects those. And some of those rights include like the right to interracial marriage and same-sex marriage and privacy and the use of contraceptives. This doctrine, which I think is good, was developed over time by the Supreme Court through a series of landmark cases. These landmark cases include Griswold v. Connecticut, which enshrined the right to privacy generally and the right to contraceptives in particular. Loving v. Virginia, the right to marry a person of a different race. Roe v. Wade, the right to a pre-viability abortion, which was ultimately overturned. Another example is Obergefell v. Hodges, which enshrines the right to marry someone of the same sex, i.e. the gay marriage case. Essentially, substantive due process enshrines these rights, among others, and prevents the state and federal government from infringing on these rights without very particular procedures. It's an important doctrine. What pisses the freaks off is that these rights, which seem very normal to me, are not explicitly stated in the Constitution. Because this doctrine is ever evolving in common law, it's subject to a lot of confusion and criticism from the freaks. And by freaks, I mean largely the right. So one of the main critiques is that this is an example of judicial overreach, which means that when judges enshrine certain rights, like the right to gay marriage, that they're imposing their own policy beliefs on the Constitution. Another resounding critique is that this sort of interpretation of the Constitution is not textually based, right? Like, again, gay marriage is not actually enshrined in the Constitution, so we shouldn't abide by it. That's what they're saying. As context, there's this huge debate among like legal scholars and lawyers and judges about how we interpret the Constitution. Some people are originalists or textualists, which tell you look directly at the text of the Constitution and how it was interpreted at the time that it was written, and that's how you should decide cases. The other normal people believe in a living Constitution, which is the idea that the Constitution should be interpreted as the society evolves, right? As the society evolves, you apply social norms and social ideas. That's how we got to the idea of like gay marriage should be protected, interracial marriage should be protected, abortion should be protected. So the originalists, the freaks, think that the Constitution should not be interpreted as protecting all of these like very normal social normie rights, and instead that these decisions should be left up to the states. Which is what happened to the right to abortion, right? Like now it's a state-by-state decision. You can be in one state, Texas, and not be able to get an abortion, but then you can go over to Massachusetts and get one. I would like to note for you originalist freaks that per the Constitution, I'm just 3/5 the person. First, what does this frickin' mean? Well, as you know, the right to an abortion was overturned by the case Dobbs that the Supreme Court heard. The right to an abortion was one of these substantive due process rights. And in his concurrence, Justice Thomas, boo, said that we'd have to go back and look at the other substantive due process cases, like Griswold, like Obergefell, signaling that he wanted to overturn these other like privacy rights that we have all gotten so used to. That freak wrote, in future cases, we should reconsider all of this court's substantive due process precedents, including Griswold, Lawrence, and Obergefell. Because any substantive due process decision is demonstrably erroneous, we have a duty to correct the error established in those precedents. But the conservative justices on the Supreme Court, right, the most important court in all the land, want to do is dismantle these rights that we have.
Yeah, guys, even as we continue watching, we are seeing Americans are reacting to this white politician's controversial proposal to ban black people from marrying white Americans and even trying to make it part of the United States Constitution. Guys, let's continue watching as people from across America are sharing their unfiltered opinions, outrage, and disbelief. Is this a political stunt, deep-seated racism, or a wake-up call about the state of equality in America? Guys, let's watch the remaining clips. Subscribe for more real reactions, discussions, and breakdowns of major social and political issues. Guys, join the conversation in the comments. What do you think about this proposal?
Gay marriage is not actually officially legal in the United States of America, nor is interracial marriage. There is no piece of federal legislation codifying and protecting gay marriage. In fact, in 35 states, there is either a constitutional or legal ban on same-sex marriages. And if the Obergefell v. Hodges court case in 2015 hadn't happened, or if the court had decided the other way, there would be absolutely no form of federal protection for same-sex couples. That could be changing this week. Welcome back to Queer History with Miss Nevada Heather Renner. I am so excited because this week we could get to watch history being made for our community. A few months ago, I made a video about the Respect for Marriage Act, which was currently passing the House and on its way to the Senate. The Senate had decided to block the vote until after elections, which, surprise, is now. They have just decided to move forward with the vote. Every single Democrat and Independent in the Senate decided that they wanted to move forward with the vote, as well as 12 Republicans. These are the 12 that said they would not filibuster and that they were ready to move forward with the vote to protect not only same-sex marriage, but interracial marriage on a federal level as well. But Heather, I thought that same-sex marriage and interracial marriage were already legal. Nope! The Supreme Court has just said that it is illegal to block any couple from getting married, but there is no legislative protection to make sure that people can A, get married, and B, have that marriage recognized in every single state in the nation. If the Supreme Court were to overturn Obergefell v. Hodges, as some justices have suggested, Clarence Thomas, that they would like to, that would mean that those 35 states who have the same-sex marriage ban would kick back in, and marriages in those states would either be considered illegal or unrecognized. That's what the Respect for Marriage Act actually protects against. Since the Supreme Court has suggested that it is illegal to stop people from getting married, that is what we in the political science realm called a negative right. Basically, the government won't stop you from doing something. A positive right would be the government is going to give you something or ensure something. Those are also referred to as entitlements. And now we might actually have the given right to get married in the year 2022. I am excited to watch history be made. Make sure you are calling your senators and telling them how important this bill is for you to protect your family, to protect your loved ones, and to protect your community. We got this, you guys. We are
So guys, this video has been going viral all over social media. People are calling it racist, unconstitutional, and straight up hateful. Let's take a look at what this politician actually said before we react. Wait. He said that interracial marriage goes against traditional American values. I can't believe this is a real statement from a public official in 2025. Like, are we really going backward in time right now? Yeah? How? This is disgusting. People fought and died for the right to love who they want. It's wild to hear this being proposed again in 2025. It's giving major segregation vibes. The Supreme Court already settled this in Loving v. Virginia back in 1967. Banning interracial marriage is literally unconstitutional. And exactly for anyone who doesn't know, the Loving v. Virginia case made interracial marriage legal across the United States. So even suggesting a constitutional ban is not just racist, it's legally impossible. This kind of rhetoric isn't about tradition, it's about control, it's about fear, it's about division. And hearing it in modern America just shows how much work is still left to do. So, if you love someone, you love someone. The government should not be telling you who you can marry. That's just basic human rights. And honestly, we can even be tired of politicians using race to get attention. We should be focused on real issues, not this such like nonsense. What do you think, guys? Honestly, this is a reminder that racism still exists in powerful places, but it's also proof that most Americans won't stand for it. Every reaction we've seen today, the outrage, disbelief, frustration, shows that love and equality are values most people still believe in. So guys, what are your thoughts towards this? What are you saying about interracial marriage? Ask yourself, are you in an interracial marriage, or is anyone in your family in an interracial marriage? When I was perusing through the social media, people talked about this, and someone said that it's their loss, their survival depends on other people, and according to history too, don't give them the time of day. They'll come running, and when they do, shut the door in their face. Someone said that white people population numbers are dwindling, and they are going to do everything they can to increase their population in America in order to maintain political power. Someone said that it's excellent blacks were prohibited from mixing with the fallen seed anyway. Yeah, so people were talking that way, and someone said that there is nothing to be surprised about. Just like sundown towns, we just need to live and rebuild. We have so much choices, like we from the UK and USA and other places. We could take and run Jamaica or lands in Africa. Our youth would have jobs. We be the 4th or 5th richest people on the planet. We just don't know how much power we have together. We just need to love each other, and the churches are not on our sides. That is what someone was saying. So guys, if you think these kinds of proposals have no place in America, share this video, start a conversation, and keep speaking up, because silence is how injustice stays alive. Thanks for watching, guys. Of course, all credit belongs to the original creators of the video. This video is meant for educational purposes and commentary purposes as well. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, hit that notification bell, turn on notifications so that you don't miss on such like real reactions. We've got more real reactions coming your way next time. Yes, until then, share the video widely to get to a wider audience. Stay informed, stay kind, and stay loud. Peace be with you. Have a nice time. Bye bye.